Let's go see what's happening in the garden today. Lena the Catahoula is ready to go in there. It's a nice day. It's a little bit overcast. It's a good day for gardening. Look here, the grapevines are out of control. Clearly, I need to do something about those. So those are supposed to be trained to be growing up over here, and I've been neglecting it a bit. See, left to its own device, it'll just take over the garden gate and be its own little security system. Okay. Now what have we got going on in here? There's a quick look around. Things are doing really well. I'll go back this way. And we'll start over here. These are the smaller pumpkins. I think these are sugar cubes, and they are not growing quite as well as the giant ones out there. We walked by it and even stopped to look at those. Here are our strawberries. Right now the birds are getting more of those than we are. And the tomatillos are doing fabulously. They're growing taller and they have a lot of flowers, but still no fruit. I'm a little impatient there. Tomatoes have been, the potatoes we've buried twice and don't have any more room to bury them in these pots. We could put a layer of straw on top, but I don't think we're going to do that. And look over here at our onions. There are more of them forming bulbs. It's really kind of fun. We have a, I think, short day and intermediate day. Or do we have long day and intermediate day? I'll have to ask Jim. He's in charge of the onions and leeks. But look at that. It's starting to look like an onion in there. It's pretty cool. And our sweet potatoes have finally perked up and they are growing. They kind of look the same for a couple of weeks. But now they're starting to grow. They'll get all green and viney and they'll have beautiful purple flowers on them. And but the potatoes that will grow underneath. So you won't see those until it's time to harvest. And this bed, we harvested all the lettuce last weekend and had hoped to plant it, but we just ran out of time. We're going to put corn and winter squash in it, and that's on this weekend's chores. You can see this is the cantaloupe, and it's doing really well. And the watermelon is starting to come along too. It's fighting the weeds a bit, but it's getting better. When we uncovered this bed, we've left one row of arugula that is bolted, so it's really spicy, but we left that to harvest and then planted another row in here. You just see the tiny little babies growing, and hopefully it'll just be a couple weeks. Then those are grown up, we'll redo the first one. We didn't quite plant enough arugula this year. We need to find some more space. But there's the chard ready to harvest. And the kale is doing fabulously as well. We're going to harvest quite a bit of kale this weekend also. You can see we have our work cut out for us this weekend. And then here's that root veggie bed. This is definitely the best this has ever looked for us. Usually those rutabagas, which are the big leaves, get all eaten by bugs, and that's still possible, but this is just growing really well. It's nice massive green. And then more potatoes here. You've been seeing those. And then our pepper bed is doing well. We just discovered these garden salsa. Look at, let's see, can you see how big those peppers are there? We didn't even see those until a day ago. They're hiding in between the leaves. But it's doing well. I removed it, but there was about an 8-foot branch that fell down in the windstorm yesterday in this bed, and it was tucked right around this little sriracha. It came right around the back here and could have knocked it over. It just kind of bent it a bit, so we got lucky there. It could have been much worse. And other chili pepper bed's going well. Starting to get fruit. Fava beans look like they are wrapping up. We're going to harvest today. Look at how big some of these are. And a couple of them are a little past, they look a little bit dry just from all the sun, but they're doing quite well. So we're going to harvest fava beans. We had a yummy spring fava bean rice salad last week. And our tomatoes are just super exciting. We had our first tomatoes yesterday, and they were the Sun Gold. And if you kind of peer in, you might be able to see, you can see there's another one ripening in the back, a little bit of orange. So we have 20 tomato plants and 18 of them have fruit. We've got a couple that are slow to fruit, but that'll happen soon. You can see the green tomato in there. And these are some paste tomatoes. These are some more paste tomatoes, and you can see down there, those look like they're just starting to turn a little bit. And squeezing in around here. Pretty fun to watch the fruit grow. There's a big one in there. This is a Berkeley tie-dye. That's a new one for us. We're excited to see it. We've got a few black tomatoes that are doing well. The raspberries we did not tie up last weekend. We also ran out of time. And look at this. They are getting a little bit dangerous. We're supposed to be able to walk down this row, and you can see that is just not possible now. So that's another thing on this weekend's list. And then here we have a rogue locust tree growing up that we have to cut. They send roots out everywhere. And they are kind of hard to get rid of. Some more tomatoes. Look, here's a really nice cluster. This is called Old German. That's a new one for us too. This is one of the ones without fruit yet. That's Boxcar Willie, also a new one. We try to get new ones every year, in addition to our favorites. There's a black tomato there. New Girl, which we found instead of Early Girl this year. You can see those are getting ready to ripen as well. This is still empty, still waiting for our eggplant seedlings to get big enough to put in there. We may do that this weekend, depending. And then look, here's Jim. Jim, what are you planting?
Radishes.
All right, we harvested our last radishes last week, and so here we are, teeny tiny seeds, which are going to become yummy radishes in a matter of weeks, actually. And we're tucking those in along the edge of this bed, which is our sugar snap pea and eggplant bed at the moment. And you can see we have lots of sugar snap peas ready to harvest. This will be our second harvest of these. And hopefully these will last for a few more weeks. And then we are going to plant the yard-long red beans or red noodle beans here instead. Here's this one poor eggplant struggling with the flea beetles. We've tried our neem and our insecticidal soap and our diatomaceous earth. This one's doing much better. It's time to do it again. From what I'm reading, diatomaceous earth is the best bet, but it doesn't work when it's wet. So it's probably going to rain again today, which is great. And then look at this. How exciting. Now you can see a lot of blackberries, huh? So yeah, I was a little optimistic when I said I thought they'd be ready in a week or a couple weeks later, and nothing's close yet, but there's a lot of fruit on the vines, and this will keep putting out all summer. And then this bed here has grown incredibly as well. This is our squash and bean bed. And these are zucchini. And they've had a few flea beetles too, and they're about the size where we need to start checking them every day for squash bugs. Squash bugs are disgusting. They lay little tiny red eggs on the back of the leaves, and then they multiply and they stink when you squish them, and they're really prolific like rabbits. They're hard to get rid of, but we love our squash. These are 2 rows of green beans down the middle, and then over here are marrow, and on the other end are our patty pan squash. And that's what's happening in the garden today. As you can see, we have a lot of work cut out for us.